Okay. So once again, a very good morning to all of you. Today, basically, we are going to discuss about two different processes, okay, involved in separating the liquid miscible mixture or soluble solid in a liquid. How to get the pure liquid from that. Basic examples, we all can say that purification of ocean water, purification of sea water, purification of river water, purification of rainwater, purification of underground water, because all these waters contain a lot of salts dissolved in them. Okay, so our main focus will be there today to discuss about getting the two different components of miscible liquids and obtaining how to obtain pure water from the water which contains many dissolved salts in them. Clear? Now the basic principle behind distillation is difference in the boiling point. Clear? Distillation, this word refers to evaporation followed by condensation. Try to listen and understand very carefully. Evaporation followed by condensation. Okay, distillation is a process of evaporation followed by condensation. Based on separating mixtures of miscible liquids having different boiling points. This is the basic principle. The two different liquids of the mixture must have different boiling points. Clear? Out of the two components, one must have a lower boiling point and other must have a higher boiling point. And the difference in the boiling point must be greater than 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. Clear? Difference in the boiling point. Two different liquids are there. The difference in the boiling point must be greater than 25 degrees Celsius. Okay. Now, this method is basically used to separate two or more miscible liquids. Clear? Just see the diagram. With the help of the diagram, you will be very easily understanding what actually this method is. You can understand it very easily. Okay, let us first discuss about the different apparatus used in this. Okay, this one you can see there is a round bottom flask. Round bottom flask. It is named as distillation flask, or we can also name it as boiler. B-O-I-L-E-R, boiler. It is clamped properly with the help of the stand. Okay, and you must see over here that this distillation flask is kept over the wire gauge, kept on tripod stand, and there is a source of heat. Okay, a thermometer is inserted inside over here to measure the temperature or the boiling point of the liquid. Clear? Now with this distillation flask, there is an attachment, okay, known as condenser. It's known as condenser. Okay, condenser actually means, okay, as I told you earlier, evaporation is done here, and the evaporated, the gaseous or the vapors which are moving over there, it passes through the condenser and then it is collected in the receiver. Just look at the diagrams carefully. Just now I'll ask you some questions at the end. Look at the diagram very carefully, all of you. Okay, I think the diagram is very much clear to all of you. Here there is a distillation flask, a boiler. Attached with it is a condenser, and here there is a receiver. Okay, now just see what actually happens over here. In the condenser, there is a continuous supply of cold water. So cold water will enter from here. Just see, water inlet is there from here, and that water is continuously moving around this tube. Okay, and then that water moves out from here. Water outlet is here, and continuous supply of cold water is in this. Okay, now what actually happens in this process? Once again, just see 4 different apparatus apart from this stand and heating source. 4 most important apparatus over here is distillation flask, that is known as boiler, condenser, receiver, and a thermometer. Okay, obviously it is attached with the help of clamp, stand over here, iron stand, and then there is a source of heating, tripod stand, wire gauge on which the flask is kept. Okay, now a mixture of water and acetone. Now why I have taken acetone over here? It's because acetone has boiling point about 57 degrees Celsius. It has a boiling point about 57 degrees Celsius. Okay, and water, you all know, boiling point is pure water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. So there is a lot of difference in the boiling point of these two liquids. It's more than 25 degrees Celsius. Clear? So when this mixture is heated in this flask, distillation flask, okay, acetone gets converted into vapors. When its boiling point reaches, all the acetone, the boiling point will remain constant, as you all know about the latent heat. Clear? It will remain constant at 57 degrees Celsius till each and every drop of acetone get evaporated. Okay, the vapors of acetone passes through this tube, through this condenser. Clear? Just see the arrow mark that I am just moving over here. The acetone vapors pass through this tube, and around the tube we have a condenser attached which cools down the vapors. Clear? And these vapors get cooled down, and then the vapors get converted into liquid, and acetone liquid is collected in this receiver. Clear? When we'll see that the temperature has started increasing from 57 degrees Celsius, the boiling point of acetone, then what to do? Switch off the burner. Okay, all acetone vapors have passed through the condenser and collected in the receiver. What is left behind in the distillation flask is water. Okay, so same process is applied for purifying of seawater also. As we all know that seawater contains a lot of salts dissolved in them. Okay, what happens over here? Salts have large boiling point, higher boiling point than water. So at 100 degrees Celsius, water will start evaporating, or water will start evaporating in the beginning only, but at 100 degrees Celsius, it will start boiling, and the temperature will remain constant at 100 degrees Celsius till each and every drop of water gets evaporated, leaving behind the solid salts in the distillation flask. The vapors of water will again pass through the condenser, and finally the liquid water is collected in the receiver. So this is how distilled water is obtained in the lab. Remember, this process is applied for obtaining distilled water in the lab. Distilled water, because it is obtained by the process of distillation of normal water, tap water or underground water or sea water, whatever we use. Clear? So this is the application of this process, and in fact this process is also used for separating the components of miscible liquids having difference in their boiling point, and that difference must be greater than 25 degrees Celsius. Clear? Examples are written over here. When mixture of acetone and water is heated, acetone having lesser boiling point boils and moves to the delivery tube, the tube within which it condenses back to liquid and with the help of the condenser. Thus, acetone is separated out in a beaker, water is left behind in the distillation flask. And note, if there are more than two components having different boiling points, then we'll go for another method. The next method that we have to discuss is fractional distillation. And I hope that you all have studied this. You all are aware, well aware of this fractional distillation word, because this fractional distillation process is used in separating the different components of crude oil. I hope that you all remember that, because we have discussed it in the last session also. Petroleum is separated into different components by the process of refining. And which process is applied over there? Fractional distillation. There was a fractionating column. Okay, so that will be the next process. But before that, let us get a little short video. Just watch a short video on distillation. Then we'll switch over to the fractional distillation. Just a minute, beta. Okay, watch the video very carefully, all of you.
Have you ever wondered how pure water is obtained from seawater? How the process of obtaining pure water is carried out? Let us study this module to learn about the technique used for separating water from salt solution. In this module, we will learn about simple distillation, its principle and process. Before we learn about the principle and process of simple distillation, let us have a look at the apparatus used for simple distillation. The apparatus used for simple distillation involves a water condenser, a distillation flask, a receiver, a thermometer, water outlet, and a heat source. Now, let us understand how simple distillation is done. Let us take salt water in a distillation flask and heat it gradually. The temperature rises slowly, and when it reaches 100 degrees Celsius, the water turns into vapor, which enters the condenser. The condenser is cooled by a continuous flow of cold water.
I think it's very much clear to all of you that the vapors, when passed through this tube, there is a continuous supply of cold water around the tube. Or not only this cold water supply, sometimes it is found that ice is wrapped behind it to cool down the vapors of the liquid that is passing through the condenser, passing through the tube. Okay, so this is how actually condensing is being done.
Is cooled in the condenser, due to which it turns back into liquid. The liquid, which is pure water, then flows through the condenser and finally gets collected in the receiver. Similarly, simple distillation is used for separating a mixture of acetone and water. Thus, we can define simple distillation as a technique used for separating the components of a mixture containing two miscible liquids that boil without decomposition and should have a sufficient difference in their boiling points.
Now, remember, difference in the boiling point should be greater than 25 degrees Celsius. Equal to or greater than 25 degrees Celsius. Here, in case of water, and acetone, the difference in the boiling point is about 44 degrees Celsius. So we can easily, more than that, we can easily separate the components.
Now, let us recapitulate what we have discussed in this module.
Okay, just listen very carefully. It is a technique. Simple distillation is a technique used for separating two miscible liquids that have sufficient difference in their boiling point, equal to or greater than 25 degrees Celsius. Okay, two miscible liquids taken in distillation flask and heated gradually. Liquid having lower boiling point vaporizes followed by condensation. Clear? After condensation of the vapors, liquid get collected in the receiver. Clear? And same way, the next component approaches, similar process is followed. So what actually happens over here, the substance having lower boiling point evaporates first, vaporizes first, and that passes through the condenser, cool down into liquid, and finally get collected in the receiver. Whereas the liquid having higher boiling point remains back in the distillation flask in the boiler. Clear? So this is the whole process of simple distillation. Remember, simple distillation. Clear? Now we'll switch over to the next process that is known as fractional distillation. Clear? Fractional distillation is actually done, okay, when we have the difference in the boiling point less than 25 degrees Celsius. Clear? Now, for example, as we discussed earlier also, crude oil, the different components are there. Difference in the boiling point is very less, so they can be separated. If we have more than 2, then we go for fractional distillation. Clear? What is difference in this fractional distillation? Just observe over here that above the distillation flask, there is a fractionating column containing glass beads. Above this distillation flask, there is a fractionating column which contains glass beads. Okay. Now, here also thermometer is here. Rest all the attachments are as same. But in the previous case, we have seen this condenser was attached directly to the distillation flask, but here it is attached to the fractionating column. Clear? This is again, in general, when we have 2 components of a mixture, then we follow this method having a fractionating column. Clear? Now what happens in this? The mixture is taken in the boiler. The difference in the boiling point is very less. So both the substances gets evaporated. But the substance whose boiling point is little higher comes back into the boiler because those glass beads help in cooling down the vapors of those substance whose temperature boiling point is not attained. And the component whose boiling point is attained will pass through this. The vapors will pass through here, will be passing through the condenser, and finally will be collected in the receiver. So there is a slight difference over here, a use of fractionating column in general. Clear? Now examples are there, many examples are there. One example that we all have to discuss is about air. How we obtain the different components of air. First, air is cooled and compressed, get converted into liquid air. Then it is allowed to warm up slowly in the fractionating column and gases separates at different height. The same way, if you remember, petroleum is separated into paraffin wax, lubricating oil, diesel, kerosene, and petroleum gas by the method. Clear? The different applications of this process is in petroleum refineries, petrochemical and chemical plants, natural gas processing, okay, and cryogenic air separation plant. Oil refineries, in the process of making of orange juice also, in the process of separating liquid oxygen, liquid nitrogen, and noble gases, argon from air. Okay. Now the same process again we'll try to observe with the help of a video. Okay. Try to watch it very carefully. The process of fractional distillation. Clear? The next process that we are going to discuss over here is fractional distillation. Watch the video again very carefully, all of you.
In the previous module, we have discussed about different methods of separation, such as evaporation, simple distillation, separating funnel method, chromatography, etc. for separating the components of a mixture. Using these methods, can you guess how air is separated into its different components? Do you think it is done by simple distillation? Let us go through this module to find out the answers to these questions. In this module, we will discuss about fractional distillation and its principle, process of fractional distillation, its practical applications. Now, let us start by discussing what fractional distillation actually is. Fractional distillation is a technique of separating the components of a mixture into parts or fractions on the basis of differences in their boiling points.
And the difference in the boiling point, if it is less than 25 degrees Celsius. Even it is less than 25 degrees Celsius, we can easily separate the components of a miscible mixture by this process.
Fractional distillation is used when the difference in boiling points of the components of miscible liquids is less than 25 degrees Celsius. This method is based on the principle that different liquids tend to boil at different temperatures and thus evaporate at different temperatures.
So this is what actually we have to remember, that this method is based on the principle that different liquids tend to boil at different temperatures and thus evaporate also at different temperatures.
Now that we have understood what fractional distillation is, let us go over the process involved in it. Just like in simple distillation, the apparatus used for fractional distillation involves a water condenser, a distillation flask, a receiver, a thermometer, and a heat source. The only difference is in the presence of a fractionating column, which is fitted in between the distillation flask and the condenser.
A fractionating column that is fitted between the distillation flask and condenser. This fractionating column was missing in the simple distillation process, but it is there in the fractional distillation process. Clear? The substance having, actually the miscible liquids have very less difference in their boiling point. So that is why this process, this fractionating column is used.
It is a tube that is packed with glass beads, which are responsible for providing the surface for the vapors to cool and condense repeatedly.
Okay, these glass beads provide surface for the vapors to cool and condense repeatedly, whose boiling point is not yet attained will be cooled down and coming back to the receiver, whereas the liquid whose boiling point is already attained will pass through this and then will move towards the condenser. So this actually happens in this process.
Let us assume that we have a mixture of X and Y, of which X is more volatile than Y. That is,
X is more volatile than Y. It means that X has lesser boiling point than Y. Clear?
It has a lower boiling point. This mixture is taken in the distillation flask and is heated gradually. The temperature rises slowly and the mixture starts boiling. followed by the formation of vapors. These vapors consist of a more volatile component, X, with a very little amount of a less volatile component, Y. The vapors start traveling upwards in the fractionating column, wherein condensation of vapors of the less volatile liquid Y will start before that of the more volatile liquid X.
Okay, so what actually happens over here, just try to understand it very carefully, all of you, that two different components are there, X and Y. X is more volatile than Y. So what happens, the vapors of X passes through this fractionating column, whereas the vapors of Y cool down and comes back to the comes back to the distillation flask, the boiler. Okay, these vapors of X now pass through the condenser. You can just see the red color, that these are the vapors of X. They all pass through the condenser. In the condenser, there is a continuous supply of cold water, so it will get cooled down and finally will be collected in the receiver. Whereas the blue colored balls that is being shown over there, okay, just see over here, the blue colored one, when you will see back. Okay, the blue colored liquid, it comes back. Just observe carefully once again, all of you. The blue colored liquid is coming back to the boiler because it is less volatile. It has more boiling point. Its boiling point is not yet attained. But the red colored one, whose boiling point is already attained, will pass through the condenser, and finally what will happen? Just observe, it will get converted into liquid, and that liquid is collected in the receiver. So X is separated, whereas Y is left behind in the boiler. Clear? After this, what will happen? The vapors of Y will be collected in the separate receiver. The same thing we can go for that also. X is collected, X is taken out. Now Y is collected, Y will be taken out. If we have more components, okay, then it's boiling point, and in the thermometer we will continuously being able to see that yes, this substance, its boiling point has received, is already reached. So we'll separate that and another component. Then again next one, another component. So in this way, we can get the different components of miscible mixture. Clear? Now, having two components, it's easy. But more than two components are there. So for that, this glass beads fractionating column is in general not used. Okay, so let us just see what happens. What are the practical applications of the fractional distillation? The practical applications is separating the different components of air. Air contains many gases, so that can be separated by the process of fractional distillation method. How? First, air is cooled and compressed by lowering the temperature minus 200 degrees Celsius and increasing the pressure. Applying high pressure and low temperature, air will cool down into its liquid form. Okay, then what happens? Now, this liquid air is allowed to pass through the fractionating column, is heated slowly. See, we have lowered the temperature below minus 200 degrees Celsius. Now it will be heated slowly in the fractional distillation column. It is allowed to enter the fractional distillation column. Now, different components have different boiling point. Nitrogen, minus 196 degrees Celsius. Argon, minus 186 degrees Celsius. Oxygen, minus 183 degrees Celsius. You all can observe over here. So, there is a slight difference. 10 degrees Celsius here, 3 degrees Celsius here. But still, all these three components are obtained at three different temperatures by this method when they are heated in the fractional distillation column or fractionating column or fractional distillation tower. If you remember, we have used the word earlier that also in case of petroleum. Clear? By this method, the gas is separated at different heights based on their boiling points. So this is one of the biggest application of this fractional distillation column. Apart from these, the crude oil, you all remember, the crude oil, the different components of petroleum are obtained by this method only. Clear? Petroleum gas is there. Then we have petrol at different temperatures. Different components are obtained by the process of fractional distillation. Diesel is obtained from here. So this is the method especially of fractional distillation. Clear? Fractional distillation. So always try to understand that, all of you, that fractional distillation is a method of separating the different components of a mixture, different miscible components of a mixture having boiling point difference less than, always remember, less than 25 degrees Celsius. So that is actually what I wanted to discuss today in this module. Okay. Next class, we will be discussing about the other processes. So thank you all.